हरि ओम् सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः। अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हरि ओम्। So, having studied the Aparokshanubhuti, we are taking up a small 10 stotra written by Shankaracharya in the similar in lines of his own Advaita philosophy, for which his disciple Suresuracharya also has written a sloka, a poem like commentary, which is called Varthikas. So, before getting into the details of it, I will just read through the initial mangala chantings and the 10 stotras. I may not be able to sing like how Sonal was singing, but let me see. Om Maunavyakya Pragadita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Vashishthande Vasadrishikanai Avrutam Brahmanishtai Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudram Anandamurtim Swatma Ramam Mudidavadanam Dakshinamurtimide Vatapita Samipe Bhumivage Nishannam Sakala Munijanana Jnanadataramarat Tribhuvana Gurumisham Dakshinamurti Devam Janana Marana Dukkacheda Daksham Namami Chitram Vadataror Mule Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya Nidaye Sarva Vidhyanam Vishaje Vavarodinam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Nama Pranavartaya Shuddha Jnanaiga Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Chidghanaya Maheshaya Vadamula Nivasine Satchidananda Rupaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. These are the Mangala slogans, and then starts the Dakshinamurthy Stotram by itself. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijandargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivodbhudam Yada Nidraya Yat Sakshat Gurude Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Bijasyandarivanguro Jagaditam Pranirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Deshakala Kalana Vaikitra Chitrikritam Maya Viva Vidhrambhayatyapi Aha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Yatyaiva Spuranam Sadatmakamakam Karpastakam Bhasate Sakshat Tattvamasi Vedavachasa Yobhodaya Sritan Yat-sakshat karana bhavet na punaravirtir bhavambo nitau Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Nana Chidra Gadau Darastita Maha Deepa Prabha Baswaram Jnanam Yasyatu Chakshuradi Karana Dvara Bhavispandate Janamiti Tamaiva Bandam Anupatyedat Savattam Jagat Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Deham Pranam Indriyani Chalam Buddhim Cha Shunyam Vidu Kribalanta Jadopamastuha Maiti Danta Brishambadinaha Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpidamaha Vyomoha Samharine Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Rahugrasta Divakarendu Sadrisho Maya Samachadana Tanmatra Karanopasamharanto Yo Bhut Sushupta Puman Pragvaswat Niti Praboda Samaye Yapratyabhignayate Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Balyadhyushvapi jagradadishu tada sarvasvavastasvapi vyavrittasvanumartamanamahamityandaspurantam sada swatmanam pragadīkaroti vajatam yo mudraya sudraya tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Vishyam pashyati karyakaranataya swaswami sambandataha शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राद्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा य एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैतं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये भूरं भास्यनलो निलोम्बरमः ज्ञार्थोऽप्हिमांशु पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचर आत्मगवितं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यः किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्माद् विभो तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैतं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मात् अमुञ्चिन्तवे तस्तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाश्च सङ्कीर्तनात् सर्वात्वमहां विभूतिसहितं यस्यात् ईश्वरत्वं सदा सिद्धये तत्पुनरष्टदा परिणितं ऐश्वर्यम् आह्वाहृतम्. So this is the stotra of Shankaracharya, and the previous one which we saw, these are the mangala slokas. What in the being the first class, what I thought is that I will give the meaning of the mangala slokas and then enter the Manasallasa Vartika and explanation. So Dakshinamurthy Stotram Mangala Slogan starts with the Mauna Vyakya Prakadita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvana. Now there is a story behind it. There are many stories. It is that these sages who were old and already Brahmanishtai, or they were into the Brahmanishta, they wanted clarification or confirmation from none other than the Maheshwara or the Ishvara, who is the substratum or from whom the whole world has come about. So they had gone to him, and he, as usual, is ageless. So he was sitting under a Vatapatya Samipe, means under the banyan tree in the meditative posture, and these sages sat around him. The dialogue took place between the master and the students, the guru and the shishya, in utter silence. There cannot be more profound explanation of a subject which is beyond words unless it is conveyed through silence. Because any word, when we bring it into a description, that reduces the purity of that impure Satchidananda Atma, Satchidanandam Brahma, both being the same, into limitations of the words, both by the meaning and the form. So to avoid that, a subject which is of very high nature, which cannot be limited to words, but the potency of the guru is such that by silence he could impart the knowledge. Now, in whichever way we look at it, the silence is from where all words are coming. If there had been no silence, the sounds would not have its purity or able to understand us. So the silence in which he conveyed it was the purest of the pure knowledge. So keeping that in mind, how did he do it? Let us first go through the mangala slokas. Mauna Vyakhya means exposition through profound silence. Prakatita means manifested or unfolded or proclaimed. Parabrahma Tattvam, it is the Tattvam of Parabrahman or the knowledge of the Supreme Being. To whom? To the sages. The Parabrahma Tattvam, who is sitting, to Yuvanam Varshistandai, who is sitting among the old and great sages. The Yuva or the young, the ageless one was sitting in the form of a Parabrahma Tattvam, was sitting among the sages who were all Brahmanishtai. Vasat means sitting. Rishiganai, they were all rishis of sages of well known. They were all, Sanakadi. The first 7 rishis of the Manasa Putra of Brahma created first the 7 rishis who were his production of mental creation, and they were told to go about and world and create the progeny, but they refused because they were Brahmanishtai. They were all already engrossed in that knowledge of the truth, so they were not interested. So Brahma had to go through further steps. So these 7 were who refused the order of Brahma to propagate and spread in the world, went back to Shiva or the Maheshwara. Please understand, when I use the word Shiva or Maheshwara, it's not about the typical picture we all have in mind about the Jadadhara and Kaupinadhari or sitting in a posture in Himalayas or snow. All here Shiva means the purity, pure essence of the Brahma Tattva. So in the unmanifest takes the shape of a manifest without losing its qualities as the pure. That is what is called Shiva. Or that Shiva itself, when it is in the form of a guru, Dakshina means Jnanam, Murti means embodiment. So Dakshinamurthy means embodiment of pure knowledge. So he was sitting among the sages. Avridam means surrounded by Brahmanishtai sages, those who are all devoted to Brahman. They were thinking only about the Brahman. And how was he sitting? He was like a Indra among the Acharyas. He is the supreme teacher. Indra is the king of Devas. Here the Indra of Acharya means he is the supreme teacher. Nobody can teach better than him, or he has all the knowledge. And what was his posture? Karakalita Chinmudram Ananda Murti. Hands in the form of Chit Mudra. That is where the thumb and the index finger is touching together. The rest of the fingers are open and the hand is open outward. And Swatma Ramam, where was his attention? He was Ramati, he was enjoying in his own Atma. When the unmanifest takes a manifest form, that manifest form will have the Atma. Even though he was fully aware of his form manifestation and his own presence, he was reveling in his own Atma, Swatma Ramam. And because of that, he had a blissful face, because he was in the bliss of his own purity and peace. And to such a Dakshinamurthy, Aham Mere, is my prostrations or my salutations. So the first sloka's meaning is like that. Salutation to that Dakshinamurthy whose exposition through profound silence is awakening the knowledge of Supreme Brahman in the hearts of his disciples. He, himself being youthful and sitting surrounded by the old and great sages who were devoted to Brahman, the hands of the Supreme Teacher was in the form of a Chinmudra, and whose appearance is still and blissful, Atmaramam Mudidavadanam, and rejoicing in his own self, that was being reflected on his face. Now, that is about the form of the teacher. Now comes to the next Mangala Sloka. Vatapitapi Samipe Bhumi Bhage. sitting on the ground near a banyan tree. Nishannam means sitting. Sakala Muni Jananam Jnana Dataram Arad. Sakala Muni Jananam, who are all sitting around him, Munis, to all those Munis who were sitting there, he was the bestower of knowledge. Jnana Data. Jnana Data means one who gives the knowledge. Tribhuvana Guru Misham. He was the Tribhuvanam. Tribhuvanam means 3 states or 3 worlds. And he is a teacher in all the 3 worlds, because all the 3 worlds, he is the one person who is present. And he is an Isham, means he is a controller of all the 3 worlds also. Being a controller, controller in the sense not in our normal parlor, having created out of himself, he is the ultimate controller of the creations. Therefore, he has the complete control of the world, and then he being knowing everything, all the 3 states of awareness or all the 3 worlds of experiences, he is the one who is able to remove the darkness of the ignorance in those worlds, whoever is going through the world of experiences. To such a Dakshinamurthy Devam, to the Deva, or that shining knowledge embodiment. Dakshinamurthy, I told you, it is that knowledge embodiment. Devam, Dyotana Devaha, one who is effulgent in the knowledge and embodied. What does he do? Janana Marana Dukkha Cheda Daksham Namami. He is the one who is removing. Chedam means to cut or to destroy sorrows coming out of the birth and death. So the birth and death itself is what is called a samsara, and because of the Guru form which removes the darkness, the Janana Marana Dukkham, what the sorrows which is being born out of the birth and death is removed out of the root by, to such a Dakshinamurthy is my prostration. So then goes the next one. Chitram Vadataror Mule Vriddha Shishya Guru Yuva Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyasu Chinna Samshaya. Chitram, the picture which we are seeing is that Vadataror Mule, in that, and the root of the banyan tree, surrounded by Vriddha Shishya, the aged students, but the Guru is Yuva. Guru is young Guru. And what does that? How was the teaching going on? Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. The Guru was doing his exposition through silence, and it was being seen on the disciples because they were devoid or removed of all the doubts in their mind. Shishyastu Chinna Samshaha means they're severing the doubts in the mind of the by through the silence exposition. He was removing the doubts in the mind of those Brahmanishta Munis who were the students there. Nidaye Sarva Vidhyanam Vishaye Vavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokhanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Nidaye, who is receptacle of all knowledge. Nidhi means the wealth or the treasure. Nidaye means to him who is a treasure of the knowledge. Of what type of a treasurer? Sarva Vidhyanam, all type of knowledge. It is not only the spiritual knowledge, even Para, Apara Vidya, which we studied in the Mundakopanishad. Dvyu Vidye Veditavye Yatnyatva Sarvamidam Vijnadam Bhavati. That Vidya, knowing which everything becomes known, he is a receptacle or he is the storehouse of that knowledge. He is not only storehouse of knowledge, he is also Vishaje Bhavarogina. Bhavarogi means, Bhava means samsara or the worldly bondage. And it is treated as a disease for those who do not have the knowledge. So, such a person is called a Rogi, Bhavarogi, who is engrossed in the bondage of the world. To him, he is a Bishaj. Bishak means doctor, or he is a medicine. He is the one who has the medicine for the disease of the worldly bondage. He is also the Guru Sarvalokanam, which I explained earlier. All the loka means lokyate anena iti lokaha. All the experiences, all the experiences, the knowledge how the experiences are happening, he has the knowledge of it. Therefore, he is able to free you from bondage. Not because he is going to talk Upanishads or Tattvamasi or any of the ones. He has the control, Ishanam. He is the one who controls all the three worlds. Therefore, all experiences in all the three worlds, he is absolutely in control of it. So what happens? Sarvalokanam, from the experiences which are giving the bondage, he has the medicine, which is the receptacle, as in the form of a receptacle of knowledge in him. To such a Dakshinamurti, I do my prostrations, my salutations to him. Om Namah Pranavartaya Shuddhajnanaiga Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om is the symbol of Parabrahman, Akshara Brahman. This is what we are going to deal tomorrow in the Mandukya Upanishad. Namaha Pranavarthaya is the meaning of the embodiment. Here Pranava Artha means embodiment. Or you can say the meaning of Pranava. Pranava is the Omkara again. Pranava is another name for Omkara. The symbol is Om. The Om is also called Pranava because that is the first utterance. That before, and Arthaya means it is an embodiment or the meaning of it. Shuddha Jnanaiga Murtaye. He is a Murti. Murti means embodiment again. Of what? Pure Jnana. Shuddha Jnana. This is where the exposition of silence makes the important for it. Because any other Jnana which we know is limited to the word and the word meaning. So, there is a limitation for every teaching if we are using words, but we have no choice. In a world of transaction, we cannot convey through silence. But we might have to understand that without uttering a word, with a red eye and a blown up eye, if a person is looking at, we know that he is angry at us. He doesn't have to utter a word. Here the Guru is Atmaramam. He was enjoying in his own self. Therefore, there was a pleasant smile on his face, or he was pleasing to in exposition. His expressions were such a pleasing, which cannot be seen in ordinary life. Therefore, such a facial expression, he conveys the meaning of what is the depth and the purity of the knowledge in which he is reveling. Therefore, it is Nirmalaya. It means absolutely stainless. There is not even a speck of imperfection there. Pure means absolutely pure. And not only pure, it is also Prashantaya. The Shanti or the tranquility or the peace which we have no idea what is that, because for us everything is relative in a world of transaction. In relative world only we have definitions, and all definitions, absolute definitions are just not possible in our transactional world. But here he is talking about Prashantaya, Prakarshena Shanta, means absolute peace or the bliss of nothingness or the wholeness. Both way you can look at it. He is in the form of body of knowledge, Dakshinamurti. To him I am doing the prostration. Chidghanaya Maheshaya Vadamula Nivasine Satchidananda Rupaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Chidghanaya. Chit means the Chaitanya or the consciousness. Ghanam means, normally the word Ghana is used for 100% purity. Or when we say Ayoghana means 100% iron. Swarna Ghana means it is pure gold, not even 0.001 of impurity is there. Such purity we cannot see in the transactional world. Here they are referring to Chit Gana, that the solidified form of consciousness, or the 100% consciousness where there is nothing other than that. Maheshaya, Maha Isha is Mahesha, is the controller, or he is in control of everything. Maha means the ultimate, who is the great God. What does he say? Vadamula Nivasine. Now here this Vadamula Nivasine is why is used is, you should not take. The simple reason is that it's a banyan tree and it is being referred here. If you remember the Upanishads as well as in the Gita, Urdhvamula Matashagam Ashwattam Prahuravyayam. So when the depiction of the world is being shown as a inverted tree where the roots are to the top and the branches are to the bottom. Now, in such a tree, if somebody is in the Vadamula Nivasine, who is residing in the roots of at the roots of such a tree, means it is from the creation, everything is coming. That solid consciousness, which itself becomes the whole world of experiences, therefore Vadamula Nivasine. And how does it happen? Satchidananda Rupaya. The form of the world is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Existence, conscious awareness and bliss. This is the form of created form. We think that Satchidananda means it is something outside, we cannot think even. But when Satchidananda Rupaya, Rupa here means the form in which it has taken, the absolute Chit consciousness, which doesn't have a name, which doesn't have a form or anything, and who has the absolute controller of everything, from where the whole creation comes down. And in what form? In the form of existence awareness. That is what is called Satchidananda Rupaya. To such a Jnanamurti, Dakshinamurti, to the knowledge, embodiment knowledge, is my salutations. Then comes Ishwaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vivagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurte Nama. Ishwaraha means the controller, or from where the whole, he who has absolute control of everything. Guru Ratmeti, in the form of Guru and Atma. The Ishvara itself is appearing as Guru to remove the darkness, and by showing the Atma Tattva, or the self which is in our each of the creation. Murti Veda Vivagine, there is no difference. Vivaga means separation. There is a body difference between the Guru and the Shishya. So Ishvara, Guru and Atma are Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat. So this type of Vedas, Murti Veda Vivaga, that is being removed by the knowledge. And then what happens? Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya. He shows that the embodiment is an apparent form. It in reality has nothing to divide it, because it cannot be divided, because it is like space. Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya, who pervades the spiritual sky. That consciousness cannot be divided and become multiple products. There is nothing where it is not there. Then how can you say it has become multiple? The name and form, that is why the Murti Veda Vivagini, the way in which the Murtis are being divided, the name and forms are being divided, is an apparent ignorance on the Shishya. That is being removed by becoming Guru and showing what is the truth is Atma and Ishvara, there is no difference. That knowledge is being passed to us in the form of Dakshinamurti, who is the embodiment of knowledge. This is what the mantras which are in the beginning of the thing. From next class onwards, we will do only the mangala sloka, but we will not do the stotra chanting. Stotra chanting can be done if required, but more towards will be the exposition of Varthika of Suresuracharya, which is called the Manasollasa. Manasollasa means mental enjoyment. Ullasa means to enjoy. It is a mental or enjoyment through the mind by mere listening to these stotra. This Dakshinamurthy Stotra, once you know the meaning, just reciting or while reciting, if you go through the meanings of each of the words, you don't need any Upanishad, Gita, Brahma Sutra, or any of the book which we study in the form of acquiring knowledge. The entire truth of Advaita is capsuled and given in this 10 months stotras by Adi Sankara. That is the very reason Suresuracharya is a very shy commentator. He doesn't write any commentary on anything and everything. We do not have any record of his being written until we found out some manuscripts in the late 1600 and 1700, that period. Before that, we thought we knew that there was an existent person called Suresuracharya, one of the disciples of Shankara, but his compositions, which we are called Varthika, was not available to the public. It were kept in the secret chambers or the very secluded places where only the true students of Advaita were given the access to those books. Until in the 1600 and 1700, Mysore Maharaja, who had access to those things, decided no, this should not be just left for the monastic people who are coming and studying Advaita. This should be available to the public also. So those things were later released for the public consumption, and then subsequently those sub-commentaries and commentaries and expositions after that on that came up. And that is the time when we found out that the understanding from Suresuracharya, he has understood his guru much better than what words can express. To that extent that if we read the Varthika of Brihadaranya or Taittiriya or this Manasollasa, we will know that he has simplified Advaita into such an extent that if you really understand Suresuracharya's exposition, you will know what the Guru had taught him. Because he was such an expert Shishya that he understood in the entirety what his Guru Shankara had taught him. So, if we are able to imbibe what Suresuracharya is conveying through his creations like Manasollasa for Dakshinamurthy Stotram, then there is Brihadaranya Vartikam, then Taittiriya Vartikam is there, then Pranava Vartika is there, and these are the 4 things which are written by him. So we are going to do the Manasollasa Vartika of Shankara or Suresuracharya. He is intermingled the Dakshinamurthy Stotram in between the Manasollasa. He has written as chapter by chapter. For each stotra there is a chapter. So there are 10 chapters on the Manasollasa because of the 10 verses of the Dakshinamurthy Stotram. So we will go through that and try to understand how he is making us clear about what Shankara has written in the Dakshinamurthy Stotra. He starts with a Mangala Stotram. Mangalam dishatu me Vinayaka, Mangalam dishatu me Saraswati, Mangalam dishatu me Maheshwara, Mangalam dishatu me Sadashiva. Dishatu means dadatu. Mangalam means what is good for everyone or those who are there. Me means to me, the one who is chanting this. So to me, in the form of Vinayaka, please guide me what is auspicious to me. Mangalam Dishatu me Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess of learning, and therefore let Saraswati be auspicious to me and bestow me with the knowledge. Maheshwara, here Maheshwara is the Ishvara of everyone. Ishwaranam Ishvara, Maheshwara. He is the ultimate Ishvara. Let him also be bestow auspiciousness in my study for this knowledge, Dadatu. Sadashiva, here Sadashiva and Dakshinamurthy are identical. So Sadashiva is always pure, where he doesn't have even a form. So such a Shiva or pure consciousness, let that also bestow on me the auspiciousness. So this is the first Mangala sloka. Then he starts the preamble for the first verse of Dakshinamurthy Stotram. How does the preamble start? He says, Atmalabhat paro labho nastiri munayo viduhu tallabhartam kavistauti swatmanam parameshwaram. I'll split the words, explain out each one of them. Atmalabhat, from the gain of self-knowledge. Paraha labha, supreme or superior knowledge. Labha means gain. Na asti, there is nothing which is superior to the gain of Atma. Atma labha means attaining the Atma, or here the word can be little bit confusing. Is it something which is to be achieved which is not there with me, or is it something which is inattainable? Because Atma and Ishvara, Jagadishvara, all are Jivo Brahmaiva Napara is what Shankara says. So how can I have a labha, means how can I gain Atma? But he says that iti munayo vadantu. Muni means here the one who has absolute knowledge. He viduhu, he knew and he explained. He says that nasti atmalabhat paraha. There is nothing greater than the atmalabha, is the declaration of the Munis, or the one who has understood that. Tallabhartam, tasya labhartam, to get that or to gain that knowledge, kavihi, here kavi and muni are slightly different. Muni is the one who knows the truth, and kavi is who is aspiring for it, but he already has enough knowledge to become a muni. So here is the word between the muni and the kavi. You have to understand that what is the qualification between the teacher and the student. Adhikari Vedam. Adhikari means the qualities of an aspirant, which we have discussed in detail in Aparoksha Anubhuti. Sadhana Chatushtayam is the basic requirement. Sadhana Chatushtayam means the fourfold qualifications of a student is mandatory for Atma-jnanam. Why it is mandatory? Because unless you are mentally and you are physically you are trained to think in a particular fashion, the knowledge which is being imparted by the teacher, which being very subtle and esoteric in nature, cannot be grasped unless you have the mental qualification for it. It is not only the physical qualification, and without physical qualification, your mental mind will never be qualified. If you are physically intolerant and also involved in the engagement of the sensual activities, whatever may be it, that your mind will be running towards that. So unless you know how to control your indriyas, how to control your mind, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, the Shat Sambati is one of the requirement of the student. So physically you need to train yourself so that your mind is at your control. And in such a control mind, you have to develop a Vairagya, which is one of the second most required thing. For Vairagya here is Vigadaraga, or detachment, or in lack of interest in objects perceived and enjoyed through sense organs, including the mental, both gross and subtle. A detachment towards that, or a disinterest in that, that is what is called Vairagya. Now, Vairagya cannot come unless you have the right knowledge of the reality of those things which are getting you carried away through the sense organs, which is called Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. What are the things which we are running after? Are they permanent in nature? Even after achieving that, can the happiness remain permanently with me? If these type of inquiries, that is that Viveka. Viveka is Vichara. Vichara is the method of analyzing any experience to know whether they are permanent in nature or not permanent in nature. So, when you have the Viveka, Vairagya and Shat Sambati, natural outcome of these three is Mumukshutvam, means to free from the entanglement of the clutches of the sense organs and the world of experiences. Because world of experiences is from outside. But this, what we are now looking for, is that peace of mind or that tranquility in the mind, which when becomes still, Amani Bhava, when the mind becomes no mind, the Atma, which is present in every iota of the world, is shining itself. A similar example is Nana Chitra Kadavutara. There is a verse coming in the Dakshinamurthy Stotram. Here what I am going to tell is that every iota of the creation is in reality that pure existence consciousness, Satchidananda Rupam, which we told earlier. That consciousness in the form of Sat and Chit is what is every atom of this world. But due to the mental nature of the sense organs and the mind, in the emotions and the thought feelings, etc., we are covering those realities. So when we have Amani Bhava, when the mind becomes pure, absolutely pure in that nature, you don't need to know where is Atma, because it is a Suprakasha. It is that light with which every object which we were thinking is existing was being shown to us. The object per se has no method of exhibiting its expression of existence unless the Atma from within enshrines or enlightens that object as existing and its as existence. This is the reason why when we do all those things, that nature of the student is what is here called the Kavi. Staudi means he praises whom? Swatmanam Parameswaram. He is not going and doing a stuti or a prayer to anything outside, external. The Parameshwara he has realized is Swatmanam. He is residing in my own nature. Atma is here nature, or my own truth and identity. So that Parameshwara is, which is there in every iota, is not attained separately, but by praising that mind becomes a qualified mind, it shines by itself. So what are the things in the Hitopadesha? There is a sloka. Aharandra bhayamaidanam chat samanyamedat pashubir narana dharmohidesham adigo vishesha dharmena hina pashubir samana. Ahara means food. Nidra is rest. Bhaya is an indication of all emotions and the mental activities. Maidanam is procreation. So, food, rest, emotions and procreation, Samanya Medat Pashubir Narana is common with, Samanya means common, Pashubir Narana, Pashu means animals, Narana means humanity. These are common among humanity and animals kingdom. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maidanam. Food, rest, emotions and procreation. Dharmohi desham adigo vishesha. But dharma, what is right, what is wrong, what is nitya, what is anitya, all these type of analysis is superior to all the four And such a person who has abidance in the dharma, he is a manushyanara, he is a human being. Dharmena hina pashubir samana. A man who doesn't have the dharma, a wisdom to know what is right, what is wrong, what is his duty, what is not his duty. He will live like an animal, like following the food, rest, emotions and procreation. For him, life is a cycle like an animal. He doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, what is his purpose of life, what is he looking for, why the experiences are. He has no intellectual inquiry at all. Then comes Svechaya Sushtam Avishya Vishwam Yo Manasi Stitaha Stotrena Suyate Anena Saeva Parameshwara. Now says Swa Ichaya, by his own desire or his own volition. Srishtam, created. Avishya means after having entered into it. Vishwam, the whole world of experiences or the whole world. Yaha manasi stitaha, in the mind of whom it is all existing. This Vishwam which is created, because what happens? Swa ichaya srishtam avishya. Swa ichaya srishtam. He creates everything through his volition, and the creation remains in his mind. When it is residing in his mind, he has entered through the entire world of objects in the world. A similar experience we can say in our dream. The entire world of the dream having created, we ourselves become the dreamer, we ourselves become the objects of the dream. So who enters the dreamer, who enters the world of objects of the dream? Nothing but that awareness which has become as a dream of awareness. So Sasrishta, Swa. How did that? You didn't use any material object, like a mason needs mud and everything for creating product, or a blacksmith required metal for creating something. There was no material cause at all required for creation of the dream world. The entire dream world was created out of the nothing, just by desire. Whose desire? The consciousness itself desired to become many. And then he becomes many, and having become many, he is the one which is in many. To such a person, stotrena suyate anena stotrena suyate. With this stotra, with this Dakshinamurthy stotra, stuyate, I am doing the extolment or praising of that Ishvara, and he Saeva Parameshwara, that Atma Ramam Swatmanam Parameshwara. He is the Parameshwara which is residing in the dream. So the creator having created the dream, the dreamer, the self of the dreamer is the creator of the consciousness of the dream. Is the consciousness, is the dreamer as the consciousness of the object, where is that objects have got maybe solidity, liquidity, or space and time, etc., etc. But everything is nothing but the consciousness, and therefore he is a Parameshwara. He is the one who controls everything in the dream world. Same way, such a Parameshwara is my Swatmanam in this world of experience. To that Parameshwara, I am doing the praising by these stotras, which has been written by Shankaracharya. To say that, how does this word, from where does Suresuracharya pick up these things? In the Taittiriya Upanishad, the second Valli, Shiksha Valli, 6th chapter, the first sloka, there is words for that. So akamayata, he desired. Bahusyam prajayeti, let me become many. Then, tat krishtva tadevanupravishat, having created everything, he entered everything. He created and he became everything. He entered everything means anupravishya. That word pravishya means entering. Anupravishya is with a suffix anu means near. Nearly entered, it means he became everything. Tadeva anupravishyat. Then how does he say that he stayed in the mind? In the Gita there is this thing. Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetratnyor jnanam yattatjnanam matam mama. That knowledge is mine, which is by which, even with which you say that I am that body, I am the Atma, that difference is also my knowledge only. It is me as the knowledge gives you the difference between the body and the Atma. How does that happen? Kshetrajnam, I am the Kshetrajnam, the one who is residing in the every Kshetra. Sarva Kshetreshu means every particle of creation is a Kshetra. In that, Mam Vidhi, see or know that I am there as a Kshetrajna, or the one who knows that Kshetram yat jnanadi sa Kshetrajna. One who knows that Kshetra or the particle of creation, he is called the Kshetrajna. So the one, how does he become a knower of the knowledge? Not from outside knowing. Whenever you see anything from outside, you have no knowledge of 100%. You can know anything from outside, but you do not have 100% knowledge of it. If you want to know anything yourself, you have to become that. So if I have become Bindu and I experience as Bindu, my knowledge of Bindu as my own existence is known only to me. Anybody seeing me will not know exactly like how I know myself. This is a case exactly for everything. So if it is for one of us, it is the same for every particle or every creation in this world. So know me as Kshetrajnam. The one who has become the Kshetra itself is become the Kshetrajna. That Kshetrajnam, and then the creation, apparent creation between one particle and another particle, even that is mine, because I am the one in between also. So you may apparently make a difference between one particle and another particle of creation, but the separation is also my creation, because of which you are seeing the two separate as separate, forgetting that creator of the one is also Mam Vidhi, is myself. Then he says, Asti prakashata iti vyavahara pravartate, Tachat astitvam prakashatvam kasminnarte pratishtitam. The student is asking the teacher, Asti prakashata iti vyavahara vartate. Asti means it is existing. Prakashata means the existence is being revealed or awareness of the existence. Vyavahara is in the transaction, there is both Asti and Prakasha. So when we say that an animal is there or a tree is there, there are two things which are conveyed through that statement. One is the existence of the object, and second, we are also announcing that I am aware of the existence of that thing. So that prakashata, or that awareness which is being shown through the existence of things, it is a type of transaction which is happening. In that, astitvam, the nature of existence, and prakashatvam is the nature of awareness. Kasmin arte pratishtitam, where in which reality, artha here you have to take as meaning or reality, in which reality is this established or they are depending upon, unless there is some substratum in which the existence and awareness is embodied. How can it be known as existence and awareness? Because I am transacting with existence and awareness. Here if you look at it, if ornament is given a name by a ring or a garland or a bracelet or whatever may be, that may be made of gold. But the name of the object and its existence cannot have an independent existence if I remove the gold from that. Without gold, the bangle doesn't have an existence, or the garland or the ornament doesn't have an existence, and no name also. So what is that existence and the awareness of all the particles of the world? In which is those is abiding with, or what is the substratum for that? Is the first question the student is asking. So therefore that in the Drigdrishya Viveka there is another sloka. Asti Badi Priyam Rupam Nama Chetyasasya Panchakam Adyatrayam Bahya Rupam Jagat Rupam Sadotvayam. So Asti Badi Priyam Rupam. Asti means existence, Bhati means chit or knowledge, Priyam means happiness. It is a Rupa in which all the existence in the Jagat Rupam is existing. So this is a word that Asti and Badi is being used from that. So Shankara has written a Drigdrishya Viveka, another sloka for it, another set of verses on that. From there this one has been taken. Then comes the next question. Kim teshu teshu va arteshu kim va sarvatmani ishware ishwarattam cha jivattam sarvatmattam cha kidrisham. Now he is asking the further question into that. From the appearance he is getting into the details of it. Kim, why? Teshu teshu, in those appearance in the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, or the creator and the created, in the objects. Otherwise, Sarvatmani Ishware. In the, how does that, in that Ishvara who resides in the Atma, how does the Ishwaratvam and Jivatvam and Sarvatmatvam, how can you say that if it is only one, how will you call it as he is a Ishvara, he is also a Jiva, he is also a Sarvatma? How can one be called by different names? Teshu teshu means all the objects in the world. Arteshu here means objects. In all these objects, Sarvatmani Ishware is being superimposed on the Sarvatmani Ishvara. He is saying that the Ishvara, he is Satrishto Tadevana Pravichat. He having created, he ended everything. No, if he has created everything, he is the ultimate everything, he has become everything. Then how are you going to say that one is Ishvara, one is a Jiva, and then there is a Sarvatmatvam? In everything there is an Atmatvam in that Ishvara and the Jivatvam. How does this, how will you explain this? Please explain to me, your master. Is the question which the student is asking. Then he is asking the next question. Janiyat katam, how will I know? Jivaha kim tat jnanasya sadhanam jnanat tasya phalam kim syat ekatvam katam bhavet. Janiyat, how will I know? Katam, Jivaha kim, what is the Jiva? Tat jnanasya sadhanam, what is the knowledge with which I know these atmatjnanam? Tat Jiva kim, or why Jiva, what is Jiva? And jnana tasya phalam kim, if you say that jnana is the sadhanam to know what is Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, etc. What is the phalam? What is the result after if I have the knowledge of it? And knowing that is different partage. But how do I resolve that all into one? Ekatvam cha katam bhavet. How can I resolve them all together in all these multiplicity which is in my experiences, in the multiple forms and everything, into one? You are saying that there is only one. Sa ekaha, sa ekam vid, that he is only one. Tatrishva sadevanu pravichat. He having created, he became everything. Now I have my experiences of multiplicity and multiple experiences. If jnanasya is the sadhanam for the jiva, this is the knowledge. What is the fruit of action with which I know it? Sarvajnaha sarvakarta cha kadamatma bhavishyati shishyam praityartam prachandam vaktum arabhade gurum. Sarvajna sarvakarta cha. Sarvajnaha means knower of all or omniscient. Sarvakarta is the doer of everything because he is the one who created everything. Cha kadam atma bhavishyati. How can atma become that? He is the sarvajna and sarva. So, prati ityam prichandam, prati ityam prichandam shishyam. To such a shishya, to that disciple who has been asking all these questions to, Guru vaktum arabhate. The teacher now starts the answer. This is the preamble of the first sloka with which he starts the Manasollasa, and then comes the first stotra. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijandargatam. The Guru saying, Shankaracharya is saying, Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijandargatam Pashyan atmani mayaya bahirivo dhudam yada nidraya. Yas sakshat kurude prabodha samaye swatmanam evadvayam. Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurthaye. Vishwam, the world. Darpana Drishyamana Nagari. Like a world reflected in a mirror. Tulyam means equal to. Nijandargatam. Nija means in oneself. The whole world is inside us, the one who is seeing, experiencing in the world. Pashyan, he is the one who is seeing in. Where? Atmani, in the Atman. Mayaya, due to Maya. How? Behi iva, as if the whole world is placed outside. Udbudam, having, how does it happen? Yada nidraya, in the sleep. How did the world of creation come outside and you felt it, the whole world of experiences of the dream is existing outside you, yet happening inside? Yaha, the one who, Sakshat Kurude, who makes us understand that. Sakshat Kurude means makes that our immediate knowledge. When Prabodha Samaye, when that knowledge arises, that is Satmanam, Advayam Satmanam Eva. That is the non-dual, your own self, alone. It is what that is being told. Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Dakshinamurthaye. To that Dakshinamurthyana Swarupa, which is in the form of a Guru, and now telling me all these things, unto him is my salutation. Now, the explanation and the details of this sloka, I will take it up in the next class. But this needs to be explained in much detail. What I'm going to do is I'm sending the email with this PDF as an attachment to the email. You can use it for your own revision and study with it. Okay. Any questions?
Just to be clear, Bindu, where did we ended at number 7 or number 6, or which number was it? Do you know?
This is in the 7th as far as the Vartika is concerned. But first of the stotra is the first one, first stotra.
Thank you.
So if there are no questions, we will stop here and continue next week.
Can I ask something?
Yes, your voice is not clear. Can you?
Now is it clear, Aurobindo?
Yeah. Yes, please.
In the starting verse, it is being said that this is all in the form of silence, and all the 7 rishis who are sitting there,
Yes.
they are having Brahmanishta, and then
Yes.
in the silence they are getting the answers.
Right.
So this all, does this mean this all is happening in the silence, and the Guru,
Yes.
the Dakshinamurti Guru is, like you said, not how we see Shiva, but the Guru is the Atman.
Okay. I'll give you an example. It's a very crude example, or example which you can relate to any one of this. Assuming there are 2 lovers sitting on a table, coffee table, they are holding hands each other, not uttering a word, looking into each other's eyes. Both of them are realizing the love of each other. Is words required to convey the love? The presence of the both of them experience the love. Words cannot be expressed as to what is love. If that is the case in a transactional world, in the esoteric world where the spiritual teaching is there, what is our own awareness, no words can restrict it there. Yato vacho nivartande aprapya manasa saha is what the Upanishad says. Words cannot express it and not fathomable by the mind. That is the reality. So it cannot be used by words. At the same time, words are given for those who are in the initial stages. But the Brahmanishta Munis, like Sanakadeya, for them that Upanishad and those things are not no use because they have already in that Brahmanishta. All that what was required was the grace of the Guru. And the Guru is an embodiment of knowledge. His presence was enough for them to realize what was the knowledge. Like the two lovers, mere presence gave them to the knowledge of love between for them, each one of them. The same way, the knowledge required for the Atmajnana, for a apt student, the presence of a Guru is enough. Guru doesn't have to utter a word.
Okay, thank you, Aurobindoji. And this Dakshinamurthy Stotra is written by Adi Sankara, assuming that what were the questions when they were in the Brahmanishta or when they were in the silence. It is in the form, the Stotra is in the form that the questions are being answered.
Okay, let me explain to you. The Stotra of Dakshinamurthy Stotra doesn't talk anything about Mauna Vyakya Prakadita. That was written by other acharyas who wanted to give the picture of what is Dakshinamurti and how the Sanakadeyas were sitting around. But if you look at Shankaracharya's Vishwandarpana Drishyamana Nagari till to the end, he is not talking about any of these pictures and the pictorial description which gave in the Mangala slokas. From Shankaracharya's point of view, he talks only on philosophy. He doesn't mince words with anything else. He is not interested in how does the picture, how does it, where did it happen, when did it happen. All those things have no relevance to him. For him, space and time doesn't exist. But he tells the truth which can be understood by us if you understand the sloka. That the expressions or the upamas which he is using or the similes which he is using is so apt that you cannot have any other example which can be more appropriate. There can be other examples which may come closer to it, but the apt one will be that what he is used. And even there, the truth is that there cannot be a example for an exemplified other than the exemplified itself. For anything and everything, that alone is the example, where 100% matching will happen. Anything else can come closer to it, but there will be some shortage, either 0.1% or 0.5% or whatever may be the percentage. It will not be 100% matching. But Shankaracharya has used such examples which can be the closest. So, one is the picture of the Mauna Vyakya Prakadita Parabrahma Tattvam. That has been written by others who picturized the whole Dakshinamurti and teaching the Munijanana. But Shankaracharya's Dakshina, he uses only the word Tasmai Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Other than that, he doesn't refer to what is that Dakshinamurti or how does it. And Dakshinamurti, the word meaning Dakshina is Jnanam. Murtaye means embodiment of knowledge. And who is embodiment knowledge? He is a Guru. And to such a Guru is my prostrations. Namami. Nama.
But Arvind, this Dakshina is also direction, no? South.
Yeah, Dakshina has many meanings. Dakshina is what you give after a puja to a pujari is also Dakshina.
Right, yeah.
The southward direction is also Dakshina. And Dakshina is also used for right and left. So
no,
Dakshina has many meanings. Huh?
No, so I had read that he was facing south, or he was in the south part of India or something.
No. These are all later stories. Dakshina Murti means Murti Yasya Dakshina. It means jnana yasya murti. The one who is in the embodiment of knowledge is the real meaning of Dakshinamurti.
Okay.
That is why he is using the other word.
one-
Guru Murtaye. He is the Murti of the Guru in the form of a Murti, Guru also. So Guru and Dakshina is the identical word. Right?
No, I understood that part. So
Yeah.
the Murti, by saying that Murti. So what is
Embodiment.
the significance of that aspect? No,
Embodiment.
but why? Oh, it was just used as a adjective kind of thing.
Yeah, just an adjective.
Embodiment of. Okay.
Embodiment of knowledge, or embodiment in the form of a receptor of knowledge, which is a Guru. Guru has the knowledge as he is an embodiment of knowledge, no? Therefore, Guru Murtaye, Dakshinamurtaye are Visheshana Visheshyam. One is
so it is ultimately a Guru Stuti, right?
It is a Guru Stuti, you can say it is a Stuti for the Jnana, who is embodiment of Jnana. Ultimately, it is to the knowledge where the frustration is being given. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Dakshinamurtaye. Dakshinamurti means knowledge embodiment, and that itself is in the form of a Guru, because Guru is the one who conveys the knowledge to us. So the Dakshinamurti comes in the form of a Guru. To that Guru is my prostration. And what is that Guru do? Prabodha Samaye, at the time of the knowledge, Sakshat Kurude, he makes us have the immediate experience. What is his immediate experience? Advayam Atmanam Eva. That non-dual Atma is alone, is the reality, which is Nijandargadam Pasyan. What is showing, like the dream, the world is being shown, the same thing is being. That Jnanam is the one which is, because of which Maya, due to Maya, appears to be outside. Now, Darpana Drishyam and Maya is the similarities here. How does a mirror reflect? Same way, Maya is the reflecting which is actually happening as if placed outside. There is no outside or inside, but Maya creates a world which feels to be outside. This sloka I need a lot of explanation, so I'll keep it for the next class.
Sure. And also that Medha Dakshinamurti, which is there in that Arshavidya Gurukulam. So that Medha means, like, they just use that word.
Medha is again knowledge. Medha is again knowledge or memory, or that knowledge with which you grasp subtle information is what is called actually Medha. The subtlety of the knowledge is called the Medha.
Just wondering why they use that word specifically.
Medha is another name for intelligence. Medha is another name for intelligence. Medha means intelligence.
I understand, but the naming of that temple and all, that whether they did it with some purpose. And
I don't know. There you have to ask them. I will not be able to explain that. Okay, I think I'll stop here. Om Sahanavapatu Sahanau Gunattu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vidyushavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.